In addition to a split scope, Windows DHCP servers can also be configured in a failover scenario. So let's check that out. Previously on DM1, we have already created this scope. Let me go ahead and make sure that's activated. That would explain why my renew hadn't been working. Let's try that again. There we go. That's coming up. So what we want to do is in DHCP on server DM1, we want to come to the scopes that we are concerned about. In this case, we only have the one, so that makes it a little bit easier. We're going to right click on it and we're going to select Configure Failover. This opens up our wonderful Configure Failover wizard, which makes all of our settings nice and easy. Asks us which scopes we want to select, and we have select all. Next. And then our partner server. And so we will need to say add, browse, and I'll say server DC1, check, okay, and okay. Next. Here's the relationship name. It's going to say DM1 to DC1. That's great. The maximum client lead time as defaulted as 1 hour, which is great. And mode we can change as far as how we want this to work. Right now it's set for load balance, which is similar to the split scope. You can see down here we have 50% by 50%. The other option is what's known as a hot standby. If we choose hot standby, then that means DM1 will be the primary DHCP server for everything, and then DC1 will only kick in if DM1 is unavailable. Along with that, it's going to reserve 5% of our IP addresses, in this case 5 addresses altogether, for DC1 to manage, and only will those get used if the hot standby system goes active. We want to check the state switchover interval to make sure that every 60 minutes it will check to make sure that everything is working properly. Lastly, we need to disable message authentication. This is not a good way to do it in a production environment. In a production environment, you would want a shared secret to make sure that DM1 and DC1 are communicating properly. For this lab, we'll turn that off so that there's no security or privacy at all in this situation. Next, and finish. Close. At this point, we can go ahead and look at server DC1. Let's go ahead and refresh our zones, and we see there's our scope. It went ahead and created it for us. Our address pool, our address leases, and we can see, in fact, there's server SA1 with its current lease. If I go into server SA1, let me clear my screen. I do an IP config /release. That should give away whatever IP address this machine has. And you can see right now it has, for Ethernet 0, no IP address. If I go back to DC1 and I refresh my address leases, the lease goes away. Additionally, if I look under DM1 and go to address leases and refresh, the lease is now gone as well. Hooray! So I've removed the lease, and I can see both servers have confirmed that the lease has been released. Let's go ahead and go back to server SA1, and I'm going to do an IP config /renew. I can see I got the same IP address, 10.99.0.51, the same that I had previously. And now if I go to DM1, I'll refresh and I'll see the lease. And then if I go to DC1, I will refresh my leases and I will see the lease right there. So both servers are sharing the lease information back and forth.